There are about 40 some odd different areas that they will oversee when the health care law comes into full fruition. Do you want to stop that as well? Because their budget is going to go up exponentially once that happens.
You know, at this point, I think the IRS has lost any credibility in enforcing the Affordable Care Act. Truth is, they're using their dollars in their enforcement to pursue political agendas based on political belief. We don't think they have the credibility to enforce the 23 taxes and all the mandates within Obamacare either, nor is there confidence among the American public they'll protect our taxpayer information once we give it to them. So right now, they're probably the least credible organization in the federal government. They've got some changing to do.
All right, Congressman, we'll watch closely. Kevin Brady, the fine state of Texas, on what could be a way to get the IRS going or not, depending on your point of view. Now to the Tea Party, who says, why just cut around the corners when you can cut to the core and maybe cut the IRS itself out of existence? With me now, Tea Party activist Gina Loudon. Gina, good to have you. You're not for just sort of dithering here. You're for walloping. Explain why.
Music to my ears, Neil. You know, the IRS has become a weapon of mass destruction against the taxpayers. It is so corrupt. We know that. It's unconstitutional. It was actually voted unconstitutional once upon a time. There are so many problems with this. And not only that, it's so old school. There are such much more efficient ways we can tax the people in the United States that are much more fair and I think would settle well with most of the American people. It's definitely time to make these reforms.
All right, but, you know, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. And that the argument is to just abolishing the IRS, while a lot of people share that view, it is at best impractical. And you need an organization that polices whether people are paying their taxes. You pay your taxes, I pay my taxes. But there are a lot of people who try to pull some fast ones. And you need an agency, whether it's IRS or something else, that monitors that.
But it doesn't need to be the largest organization in the largest federal bureaucracy there is. It doesn't need to be an organization that has targeted minority groups. It doesn't need to be an organization that votes itself fat cat bonuses. If this were a private business, Neil, you and I both know it would be long gone because the government would have regulated it out of business. It is completely corrupt, it is unconstitutional, and it needs to go away. And there are great answers out there. You know, the progressives are always saying they love the word fair, right? So let's do something fair. Let's do something that does tax everybody straight across the board, like a consumption tax. It can't be avoided by black market work, like,
then you don't need a big agency. I see your point. You don't need a big agency to police that.
You don't.
But back to this whole harassment of conservative groups, of which I think you might have been one. But do you know whether your case or others, whether they were contacted by this group that's supposedly investigating what happened at the behest of the president?
I know so many different people that have been attacked by the IRS in one form or another.
Yeah, but no one has been. What we're hearing, Gina, is that no one has been these groups that were targeted have not been contacted by this White House investigator that is looking into what happened, and that worries me.
That's right. And I'm still hearing continued stories of abuse that are new stories of abuse. So basically nothing is being done here, and this organization needs to go away. Having an organization like this is sort of tantamount to driving a covered wagon to a hospital. We need to come to the age this century of automobiles and get this done in a much more efficient, transparent, technologically savvy way. It's time for the IRS to be abolished. Straight up. Get them gone.
All right. But as you know, they're going to play a central role in health care. And unless something changes and fast, the rollout for that actually begins next year. And it's sort of set in stone. And you're saying unset it.
You know, I'm always looking for opportunities for politicians to be heroes. I saw a W&D poll this week that said 2/3 of Americans are demanding that the IRS go away. This is a chance for politicians. I saw you on a Superman list this week. This is a chance for politicians to ingratiate themselves to the American population they're supposed to serve and say, hey, we are going to do what makes sense here instead of continuing on because this is the way things have always been done. The American people have spoken, Neil, and it's time to make some changes.
Gina, always great having you on. Thank you very, very much.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.
Gina Loudon. By the way, Congress isn't only busy cutting cash for the IRS. Now it's looking abroad and seeing this cesspool and cutting the cash out there as well. But you'll never guess where they want to start.